Good morning, you guys. How are you?
Welcome to the Sam Leah Show. We're on a mission to become our best selves. We're taking you along for the ride, or inviting you along for the ride. So we're Sam and I are both kind of like feeling weird today, right? Is anybody else feeling weird? Is it just because it's a holiday, so it's like off? Like we're doing a little bit of work, even though it's a holiday, and like our families are home because there's like no school, so. Yeah. It just feels weird today, so I do feel out of it, but here we are, hanging out.
Happy Memorial Day. Hope you have the day off. Hope you're enjoying some friends and family. And if you've served, thank you.
My husband's a veteran. But wait, that's Veterans Day, right?
Veterans Day.
People who have
Memorial Day, you kind of those vets that are around you, you give them an extra hug because they've lost friends, they've lost peers, they've lost, best friends and things like that. I know Jared's going to go work with our cousin today, and he's a vet and he's lost a lot of people. So today's kind of like a hard day for them. So spending time with vets is a good day to spend time with them so they don't feel alone, and ask them questions if they feel like talking, or let them just, think of things in their own way. So today's kind of one of those like say too much, don't say enough, kind of like just say that you're thinking of them kind of day. That's what we were told. So Memorial Day. But most people just drink beer and have hot dogs and have a cookout and
hang out. Yeah, we did. We went you were on a boat yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago. We were at the beach yesterday, which I don't know if you know this, like we have beaches here. So I'm in New York. I'm in Buffalo, New York. Okay. But Buffalo, New York is right up against Lake Erie, which is massive. So there's several beaches around the area, which is nice. So that we get to, all summer we get to kind of go down and hang out on the sand and swim in the lake.
When I tell you where we went boating, you're going to laugh. So where I'm from, I'm in the middle of the state, and there is a power plant.
Okay. This already doesn't sound good.
Like there's a power plant that has a lake next to it.
Okay.
The lake warm.
Oh.
So everybody goes to that lake. So even though Saturday was like only like 68 or 78, the water was like warmer than that.
Wow.
So you are in warm water, but it might be a little bit. So everybody goes to this lake, and it's huge. And we like to go in the morning with our neighbors and get in the water first and pick your spot. And we kind of always like to be out by ourselves. And
is that whose boat you went on?
Yeah, with our neighbors. We're going to miss them because, they're just good people. But yeah, so we went boating, and it was, again, 78. You were chilly if you got out of the water, and you'd wrap up in a towel, but it was just, there was nice breeze and it was beautiful, but it was UV of 9. So
is that high?
It's high. That's high. And so a lot of us got a lot of sun, and it wasn't like expected. I mean, I don't get as burnt as the rest of the family. And we had on our mineral sunscreen and things like that, but it was just, it got away from you because you were so cold that you didn't realize you were getting so much sun. But it was a good time. We were exhausted. The boys went to bed when the sun was still up. Like it was exhausting.
So you mentioned you were hanging out with your neighbors, you're going to miss them. Are you a neighborly person? Like, you, okay. I was wondering, because you do know your neighbors.
Yeah. Like, they live in our subdivision, but they don't live like, we can walk to each other's homes. But our kids are the same age, the exact same age, in the same classes. So we became friends at a daycare that's in our neighborhood. Okay. And so we saw each other at the end of daycare, picking up, dropping off. And it was kind of like our kids were the same age. Then we just started doing the little like, hey, I'll watch your kids, you watch our kids. And then we realized we like the adults too. So but they are the only people we talked to. And this is so funny you say that, because yesterday was graduation party central, in this area.
Oh, right.
We walked down. Yeah, we walked down to my uncle's house, who had a graduation party for his daughter, who's the same age as my daughter. They had a kid, oopsie baby, late in life. And so we were at that graduation party. I got overstimulated. I got sick of answering the same questions. In this like leaving phase, I don't know if any of you have moved from, leaving everybody that you've known your whole life. Like there's some people I just don't give a shit to say goodbye to. And they were at the party, and I'm like, they're all like, hey, where are you moving? Hey, I'm so excited. Hey, we're going to miss you. No, you're not. Like you and I both know we only know each other on Facebook. Like you're not going to miss me. And that's okay. And I get it. I just got sick of talking. And so I left. And I came home, and I brought Brutus. Brutus is like me. Like after a while, we're like, we want our home base. So Brutus and I came home. I told Jer, you and Augie stay as long as you want. And they stayed for 2 more hours. And we went home, but then another set of neighbors stopped by and I talked to them. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like I've talked. So Jared and I are sitting on our porch or on our like driveway, which is like where we always sit. And neighbors started walking by. And I told Jared, like, I'm done. Like, I can't talk anymore. I'm gonna go inside and change clothes and get ready for a really late dinner. I come out, he had pulled him up the driveway. And so I walk out to like say, hey, dinner's ready. And I look like the bitch because I'm like not wanting to talk. So I was like, she's asking me questions, and I'm just like, I was done. Like I checked out. So Jared came in and I said, please don't do that to me anymore. Like when I say I'm done talking to people, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then then I'm a bitch because I know I'm done. And then I'm short. And then I'm like, and it wasn't anything to do with these neighbors. They're great people. They're super nice. We've just really recently started engaging with them more and more. But when I'm done talking for the night, I'm fucking done. So I told him, I said, when we move, don't do this to me. Like if I say I'm done, don't call over 6 more neighbors to sit and have like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So he was like, I get it now. I totally understand. I'm like, I'm sick of talking. I talk for a living. And sometimes I just don't want to talk on the weekends.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
is Jared more of a neighborly person? Does he like getting buddy with people? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hey, what kind of dog is that? Hey, did you put tires on your car? Hey, did you put up a new roof?
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just like, none of that matters to me in life. I don't give a shit. And so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe but he is very like, hey, what's going on? And I'm more like, hi, keep walking.
Yeah. That's how I am. Well, luckily, yeah, David's the same way. Is like we're just like this. Like I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm a friendly person. Like if but like when I'm in my home, that's my cocoon. You know, I don't want people coming to my door. I don't want people borrowing sugar. I don't want people inviting me over for like a fire. I don't want anyone to talk to me or come to my house.
I totally am the same way. Like I was at that party and it was all like my family because that's my uncle. I mean, it was family. Right. But I talked to my sister and I was just like, we were at the end of the driveway and I said, I just want to go. Like I'm done talking. And she's like, then go. And I'm like, you're right. She's like, then fucking walk home. She's like, you live right there. Walk home. So I was like, peace out. You're right. But she's still
proud of you for doing that, like for knowing your limits and just being like that. I don't have it in me. Like my energy level is just down, my social meter. And then you walk away. Yeah, we do that too. I mean, like we're like, well, even when we go to family functions, we'll go kind of once everybody's already there, hang out for a bit, and then we're always one of the first people to leave. Like always. Yeah. Well,
it was cool because when we went boating, talking to these neighbors, they're just great people, and we're a lot alike. We're older than them. I'm older than everybody, but by a lot of years. But I was just like, she goes, when I'm on my walk, she's like, I don't want to talk to people. I'm like, me neither. Like when I'm on my walk, I'm not here to stop at your house. I'm here to like, I barely even wave. I've actually just recently stopped waving at people. I'm like, I'm on a walk. I'm working out. My job is not to be friendly and wave at you. I mean, you're my neighbor. Like, but I'm on the way out, so I don't want to give a shit. But I told her, I'm like, I don't want to stop and talk either. She's like, I don't either. When people are like, hey, what's going on? Hey, did you sell your house? I'm like, this is my exercise.
Right. Your you time to be alone.
And I usually have headphones in like, oh, can't hear you. Like, oh,
right.
I'm like, listen, I'm on a call. Like, I'm not. And then there's Jared like, oh, you're inviting me up to talk to you? Let me talk to you. So, and I mean, I just look at him like, dude, but I know where he's at though. He's at home all the time now. So he doesn't have as much.
He kind of misses that.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, if you want to stay and talk to people, you go ahead. And he stayed for 2 more hours. And I'm like, him and Augie are both social butterflies. Me and Brutus, we could be in a cocoon at home for 7 days and not leave and be like, cool, you guys, you go live it up for us. So but our neighbors are the same way, and we're also the type of people, like if we text and they don't get back to us in a couple of days, it's because they're fucking busy. And I'm not over here going, are they mad at me? It's like, nope, they're busy with kids. They'll get back to us when they get back to us. Like we both respect that about each other, where I think there's so many other people I've engaged with over the years that, why didn't you text me back? And I'm like, I don't know. I read it and then I forgot. And then I did something and then it wasn't anything personal. I got busy and forgot to. So
yeah. So we might have dust mites in the house.
I don't even know what that is.
This is completely self-diagnosed using the internet, by the way. But Alora was like itchy last week. She kept kind of getting more and more itchy. And like, I was like, okay, well, we don't have fleas. Like, she's not outside. Right. And so we got some stuff for her, and she was taking an antihistamine. We washed like all of her bedding, and we vacuumed under her bed and mopped and everything. But then last night I woke up so many times. I was itchy, and like I have like little splotchy, like red marks. Like my arms are like hot and itchy. And so I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? And so I was looking it up, and I guess that's one of the possible side effects. Like so sneezing and itchy eyes and coughing is common, I guess, if you have dust mites. And then but also you might get like a rash if you have some kind of allergic reaction to it. So I'm like thinking maybe that's what it is, because yesterday I was fine, and then all of a sudden after.
Where do you get them?
Say it again.
Where do you get them? Like,
so I guess they love to live in like blankets, bedding, carpets, stuffed animals, things like that. So they're microscopic, so you can't even see them. But they live off of dead skin cells. So wherever you are, where you kind of shed the most dead skin cells, that's where they tend to hang out. So I don't know if that's what it is, or if there's something else going on, but I thought it was weird that she was itchy, and then now I'm itchy, and I don't know what that is. But if any of you have had dust mites, let me know, give me some tips. I did ask ChatGPT, and so we're supposed to like wash everything in hot water. And yeah, and I think it's tough because how do you not have dust in your house? I mean, I'm sorry, but like I don't go around with a fucking white glove and like on every windowsill and every those things, baseboards. I mean, I just don't.
You're losing skin all the time. I mean, all the time. So
like she stores stuff under her bed. So we do not pull everything out and vacuum under there and mop under there and like put everything back on like a regular basis. Like, I'm sorry, we just don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what you would do there. I mean, we had fleas one time. We got a puppy from somebody. I mean, this is back when I was married. We got a puppy one time from a house that was just infested with fleas. Like we knew the house was infested with fleas, and we saw this puppy. We wanted this puppy, and then we felt bad leaving the other puppy. So we took both because the house was just infested with fleas. So then we're, holding this dog on the car ride home, which was an hour. And we knew like now our car is going to be infested with fleas. And like, it was just like, we wanted to help these puppies. Anyways, we brought them home. I remember like we bathed, as soon as we put these puppies in like a thing of water, you could just see the fleas just like,
oh my God,
them. And like, I'm getting goosebumps. I remember it so well. But then our house, like we didn't get all of them 100%. So then, our house it was just like, we had to bomb our house, and it was just a huge thing. And it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Fleas are tough, and they love me. I will get eaten alive by fleas.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like from your pets going out. So then we had, fast forward, we had other pets here, keeping up with all of that care, and oh my gosh, making sure they don't get them. Because then it infiltrates your whole carpet in your house and everywhere. And then you just have them, and it's just, but everybody wants animals.
Yeah. I know, we were just talking about that. We have 2 cats, and we're like, okay, after this we need a hiatus. Like we need to just take a break. I just don't want responsibility for them anymore. Like I need a break of not having to pay someone to come when we go on vacation, and all the litter scooping and the food and all of that. Like I'm ready to just kind of not have pets for a minute.
I think if we ever wanted a pet again, we would foster for a little bit, just to be like, dabble, and then be like, okay, we're out.
Yeah,
we're good. We don't need any more. But that begs the question of me moving here. Do I clean my house after I move everything out?
I would. Here's what I would say from a house that I sold previously is you just want to make sure that it's clean enough. Like I'm sure the person moving in is also going to clean, but you don't want to like leave it gross, because then they can actually decide that they're not going to buy it until you get that taken care of. I mean, I don't know what's in your agreement, but that had happened to us. So with my second husband, we owned a house together. I walked away. I was like, it's yours. Like, I just want out. I just want to be done.
Yeah.
Walked away from it. Plus we didn't have a lot of like equity in it or whatever. So for like a year and a half, he was living there by himself. Right. And I think he might've gotten a roommate, but whatever. I wasn't in there. My shit wasn't in there. That was not my house. I had a new house. I had nothing to do with it. So we sold it, and the day of the walkthrough for the person that was buying the house, we got an email that was like, she can't buy it in this condition. Like, you need to do something about it. So I had to leave work. I had to rent one of those like garbage, like they come and pick up your garbage. It's like a truck, like junk. It's like 1-800 junk or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was trashed. He had there was mold all in the dishwasher. There was mold and old food all in the refrigerator. It smelled so bad. Like I'm thinking to myself, how did you? This is how you were living when I wasn't here anymore. Like, and then you left it there thinking that the people who bought it and moved in would just be like, this is cool. I'll just clean it up. Like, right. So we had to go back. Like it was the thing was they were gonna be able to walk away if we didn't go and clean. I had to like scrub his toilets. I mean, it was awful. I was there for hours trying to clean it just so that we could sell it because he left so much stuff in there. We had shit in the yard. It was a nightmare.
Well, I mean, I'll clean, but here's the deal. We close on the 19th in Alabama. I have to leave the 17th to get down there for the 18th because the walkthrough is the day before. So I have to be there really the 18th, closing on the 19th. So I have to leave the 17th because it's not like a 1 day. I mean, it is a 1 day trip, but I don't know what time the walkthrough has to be on 18th. So anyway, I'm leaving the 17th. That's when the movers are coming. So the movers will be the last people in my home.
So you could probably just do a quick run through of, just like wipe stuff down and vacuum, and just make sure.
But that's, I got to start selling the big shit to get it out of here. There's so much shit to sell or to give. I'm in the giving mood. Like, I'm not even worried about the money. Like, here's a desk, here's a dresser.
Yeah, you could just put a sign out that says free and just put shit right in your yard. People will come.
Yeah. I know. So that's the part that I'm like, do I really want to deep clean my house? And then I'm like, well, maybe I'll just hire a company to come clean for them. But then I'm like, then I have to have somebody here to let them in. And I'm just like, I just want to be done. Yeah. My house is move-in ready now. I mean, it's not filthy at all. It's pretty spotless. But once we, move everything out, it's just the timing is starting to really bother me. Like, I'm not going to be here when the movers are here, and I have to trust that they're going to pack everything the way it's supposed to. Whew, I'm a little nervous about that part. You have to mark everything. So anything, I guess the only thing that will be left here will be the things, everything else should be gone, I would hope by then. I don't know. It's so confusing. I'm overwhelmed.
So you just leave whatever you want them to pack up and they just pack it and then ship it to you.
If it's here, they pack it, right? Unless you've marked leave here. So some of the things that were like beds and like we'll need them till the last minute, but we're not taking them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen with those things then?
Fuck if I know. I have to find somebody to come to my house and sell them or give them to people. Or we just sleep. I'll sleep on the floor. We're taking our bed, so our bed will be here. But all the kids' beds we're not taking. That's all new. So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
Yeah, moving can be stressful because there's so many things you have to remember to do.
Yeah,
especially you have a lot of people. You have a lot of people.
Yeah, like this post office thing. I've printed off a couple of things from Pinterest of like, don't forget to do these things. All of our subscriptions. I mean, you wouldn't think we have a lot, but you do. When you really like make a list of things that come to your house because of COVID, I've ordered everything for everything now.
Yeah.
Between shakes and supplements and Amazon and your regular mail and all my prescription meds get shipped, like razors, everything gets shipped to us. And it's like, so I'm starting to keep a list as things start to get delivered. I'm like, okay, I gotta remember to call that place. I got to remember to go on that line. I want to know what my account is for that place. It's just been so automated for so long. So changing all of that and then going to the post office and saying, okay, anything else needs to go here. But you can't do that until you actually have a confirmed address. So that's the fucked up part too.
Right.
Is, our house is being built. So until we close, we technically don't have it.
Right.
Everybody's like, have you closed? I'm like, no. And they're like, then we can't forward your address. I'm like,
yeah. But you'll get there. Everything will fall into place. It is overwhelming, but
yeah, we're like 3 weeks out. 3 weeks out, and I'll have access to a beach every day if I wanted to. I'm so excited.
And we'll meet each other. We're gonna meet each other next week.
I know. It's so weird.
It's gonna be really weird, but I'm excited.
It's gonna be weird. Like, are we gonna do a show? We'll have to do a show while we're together.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Because for those of you who know, we've never met in person ever.
No, we've been friends for like 3 years. We've never met, but we're meeting next week. Yeah, we could. Well, normally we go into the next chapter on Thursday, so we'll be there for that Thursday. So we can probably go in there and answer everybody's questions and Maybe we'll hop on live, together, and we'll see. We'll see what we're feeling. We might be busy. We might have a lot we're doing,
Yeah.
So we'll have to just play it by ear.
It is.
But I want to ask you, do you take supplements in the morning, like vitamins?
Yeah.
You take like a handful of those every morning?
I'm old. I do everything now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do too. I take supplements. I have a multivitamin that's really good, but then I've also been reading that most people are vitamin D deficient. And that could be for a lot of reasons. I looked it up to like figure out why people are vitamin D deficient. It could be limited sun exposure, dietary factors, age and skin tone, geographic location. I guess it can cause low vitamin D. So I started taking a vitamin D supplement in addition to my multivitamin.
Yeah.
So here's what it says. So vitamin D helps with bone health. So it helps your body absorb calcium, which is essential for maintaining strong and healthy bones. It prevents conditions like osteoporosis and rickets, especially in kids, which was interesting. Immune system support. It boosts your mood. There's some evidence that suggests maintaining optimal levels of vitamin D might help lower your risk of heart disease by improving blood flow and reducing inflammation. And keeping up with your vitamin D also might help maintain muscle strength and function, which is super important for staying active as you age. So so I started taking that in addition to it. But I don't know if I feel any different necessarily.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But
I take vitamin D as well. But I'm outside a lot. I have a tanning bed. Like I make sure I get, because I am one that I know if I'm vitamin D deficient, I am hateful. Like,
so it does help your mood.
It helps my mood tremendously. Like how I feel, how my body wakes up. Like when I am like in the dead of winter here, it gets like 90 days of gray skies. No joke.
Right.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Huge here. And so when it gets to those 90 days of gray, everybody needs to be popping the vitamin D.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I got the tanning bed was just, 10 minutes here and there to be able to just zap your body with, good light. So yeah, that's why we do it. But I saw something the other day that said the average American child is only outside 2 hours a week. And I'm like, what? I can be outside 2 hours a day at least. At least.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, when we were kids, there was no.
We weren't allowed to come inside. If you came inside, you better had to take a shit. I remember my mom was like, "What are you inside for?" I'm like, "I have to poop. Make it quick and go back outside."
Right.
Like,
we're outside all the time, all summer. We used to have commercials on television that would say, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" Like we quite literally just disappeared. Like we were just going, "Oh, I'm going to my friend's house." Okay. And I just like ride my bike all day. My mom had no fucking idea where it was exactly. Right. I was just out, gone, outside all the time.
No, because you had well water to drink. You had, and you didn't need 55 snacks back in the day. You just went outside and you played. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I was a country kid, so I didn't have the whole bike ride. No, if I wanted to ride the bike, it was fucking 2 miles into town. So, which I did eventually, but we were a four-wheeler, playing with dirt, playing on a retaining wall, shooting baskets, walking, exploring, going on neighbors' properties. Like it wasn't, you were always outside. My kids are always, as soon as they eat breakfast, we're like, and sometimes we eat breakfast outside. Let's go outside. We are outside all the fucking time. I don't know how true that's going to be once we move to where it's like hot as hell, but always outside. So I think vitamin D for my children, I think they're just used to it, of always being outside and having that good weather and just the sun hitting. And I can't imagine only having your kids out 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they just on technology stuff the whole time?
Probably some of that. Some of it might be also just the location. If it's not a great location where you really don't have a yard or nature, or it's just not safe to just go out and walk around. So it probably, varies in that way. But, we'll see how you do. Maybe in the summer, if it's crazy hot, you won't spend as much time outside, and you'll kind of be out more in the fall, winter, spring months.
Yeah. My ass will be in a pool when it's super hot. I know that we will be in the pool.
Yeah.
But no, I think more, I wish I would have taken supplements a lot earlier in my life. I mean, I'm 45 and I'm just now like, oh, I'm low on iron. I got to take an iron supplement. Oh, I'm,
Yeah, I have to take that.
magnesium. Oh, I mean, all the things. And when you take them, your body does fire on all cylinders. And when you don't, your body's like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
'cause I
lacking.
think it's almost, I mean, it would be, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I think it's very difficult to get all of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that you're supposed to
Food.
get every day, like 100% of the daily, right?
Yeah.
Just through food alone.
Not in America.
It would be
Yeah.
really hard. Yeah, so
Oh,
I think
that's
it's good to
possible.
supplement. And to get a good supplement, because some of them, they don't have an absorption rate that's very good. So you take these supplements and then your body just kind of pees it out, and you don't really absorb a lot of it. So I think getting a good
Doing research about which ones are good. I mean, I think that's the critical part. Like you said,
I think the food-based ones are best than, as opposed to like a synthetic one.
and how many ingredients does that supplement really have? I mean, come on, it shouldn't have 15 ingredients in a supplement. It should have the supplement.
Yeah.
It. So reading the ingredients is really, really critical. Where is it made? How is it made? How is it stored? And if it doesn't expire, I probably wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
It needs to have an expiration date and not one that's 2027.
Right.
It needs to have like a recent, close expiration date. But yeah, I think it's pretty normal to be taking supplements. I've never taken a multivitamin. I've always just taken whatever supplement I need. So I've never taken one of those before, except for maybe a Flintstone vitamin when I was a child.
Yeah. 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 I like to take a multi that's got, a bunch of stuff in there. And then I do have to take an iron supplement. But yeah, I think it's good to try to get as much nutrients as you can through your.
It's so funny that you brought up, you wrote in our notes that we were going to talk about self-care. I just did a TikTok about this morning. Like I went on my walk this morning. I wore my vest this morning. I listened to 2 really good podcasts about manifesting and abundance. And I got back and I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell my divorce crowd. Like, I think the critical step in making sure that if your ex is like traumatizing you with, which there's some TikTok drama right now have you heard that? The Inventing Elizabeth, I think. Now that I said that, your phone will hear me and it'll give you all of it. It's this mom that lost custody of her kids. Some people are saying to a narcissist, and he has a campaign out to, and he's called it reinventing or something like that, Elizabeth, or I think that's her name. Anyways, it's about a custody battle over kids and it's real life. And this mom is saying that she got taken advantage of because she was a stay-at-home mom and he has all the money and he has ripped the kids away and he's controlling and abusive and all this stuff. And then he's saying that she's crazy. She's a psychopath, all this. So I haven't researched it enough to know where I fall on my opinion of where it's at. But I really think when you have something this crazy going on in your life, you have to have self-care the whole time.
Yeah.
Like if you don't take care of yourself when all this psychobabble shit is going on in your custody agreement or your, divorce case, they will win. They will win because you'll be broken already because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So I just think people overlook it.
And self-care isn't only bubble baths and face masks. It's like kind of like what you did this weekend. That was self-care. That was realizing, you know what, I have hit my limit. I do not have any more energy. I do not want to interact with people anymore. And so I enforce that you enforce that boundary with yourself. Right. And so that's self-care. It's connecting more deeply to yourself and understanding what you need, figuring out what your needs are, and then meeting those needs. That's really self-care. I haven't meditated in a few days. I can feel it. Like when we're done in the next chapter after this, I need to just sit and meditate because I can feel it. I feel that there's a difference. Like I'm not as grounded and as kind of, centered as I would if I meditate. So that's definitely a self-care of mine that I have to make sure that I do regularly. That helps me maintain just more emotional balance, and getting outside too. And that's hard in the winter. In Buffalo, it's like, again, you go a few months where it's like the sun's not out, it's fucking freezing. You can't really go outside, but really like going for walks outside, just hearing the birds, like looking at the green trees and the flowers and everything. It's so therapeutic and it helps boost my mood. And I love doing that when I need it. Or if I'm like worked up, even if I'm like pissed or if I'm just like trying to work through something, I go for a walk outside. Like it helps me process things and self-care. It is so important because a divorce will fuck you up real good. I mean, it's one of the hardest, most stressful things that you can go through, all that anxiety, all that fear. And if you're just living in that fight or flight day after day, week after week, month after month, sometimes year after year, because everything's taking a long time, you'll fuck your body up real good. Your body and your brain, all of the levels of cortisol pumping through. Yeah, there's a lot of negative side effects that can come from that. And that's why we're always talking about this. I mean, it's so important to take care of yourself and find that balance. Like if you're super, super stressed, you've got to be doing something to counter all of that stress, or you're going to have more problems.
It's just an easy fix that I think so many people, when they're in the depths of ugly divorce or horrible co-parenting journey, they're like, but if this just stops, my life will be better. If this just over here would die down, I'll wait till this happens. I'll wait till the divorce is over. I'll wait till I get my house done. I'll wait till, and all you're doing is saying, I don't value myself. And I value all that other shit that I just talked about more so than just taking 20 fucking minutes for myself to do something that shows pride in myself, that tells my body, I hear you, I'm listening to you. Because there is something, I was talking to my girlfriend on the boat, and, she was like, I think I'm finally at that point in life where I'm like hearing my body and what it needs.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not somebody that can take the pizza away. She's like, but what I will do is I'll eat a shit ton of vegetables. I'll drink a big glass of water, and then I'll have a piece of pizza as my my end of like, I ate all this good shit. Now she's like, I'm listening to my body, but if I eat half of the pizza, I'm going to feel like shit.
Right.
Then I'm like, no, body, don't pay attention. Like, just eat the pizza. You want the pizza. You want and she's like, and I don't, because then my stomach hurts and blah, blah, blah. So she's like, I think I'm finally like, I can hear my body talking to me saying, you need rest, or you need to sleep, or you need to take care of yourself, or you need to step away from these children. Like, I think listening to yourself. And I took 3 days off of walking, which I haven't done since last year. I took 3 days off in a row. Again, haven't done that since last year. And I regret it. Like, I was busy and I had a headache and I couldn't figure out why I had a headache. So I was like, I'll just take a day off. The first day it was like, I deserve a day off. I'll take a day off from walking. But then it was a domino effect. Then I just was tired. I was lethargic. I was grouchy. And it just like got worse and worse the more. And I took 3 days off of walking, and it was stupid because it's not what my body wanted. I think my body was punishing myself because I took away the walk. So my body's like, I'm going to make you tired. I'm going to make you grouchy because you did not give us what we needed. So we're going to fuck you up for this weekend and make your life miserable. And I've had a headache for 3 days.
Right.
And I got up this morning and I walked. I told Jerry, I'm like, I can't miss this. Like, I know today's Memorial Day and but I'm going for my walk because I have to. If not, you got to pay the consequence. And just taking that pride in like, fuck everything else that's going on. Like, your ex-husband's coming for you. Your lawyer keeps calling you. Your work's saying you need to try harder. Your mom's saying you need to take care of the kids better. Whatever it is, like, if you are not right with you, everybody else wins.
Yeah.
Single time.
Yeah.
They will all win.
And so many of our clients who they just want peace, right? They want to find peace, but they're still in the middle of everything and it's not finalized, or they're co-parenting with someone who's really making things complicated. But the thing you've got to remember is if you want peace, that's coming from you. You've got to give it to yourself. You can't be waiting for someone else to stop being a dick, right? You can't be waiting for the papers to be signed or waiting for. It's like you have to decide you're worthy of it now and that it's possible, and then you got to make it happen. Always, it's always going to be you.
Or people that say, "I'll wait till Monday."
Yeah,
just start today. Just go for a walk today.
And it could just be a pocket of it, a little pocket of peace.
Or, hey, I'll start washing my face before bed. Or, hey, I'll start saying affirmations. Or, hey, I'll start doing my gratitude journal. Like, you just got to start with something. I know, like, meditation for you is really personal development. Reading for me, if I get away from it, I don't have a focal point. And I feel like when I don't have a focal point for the day, like starting with a reading, then I'm like in my own brain, which is not a safe place to be sometimes because I just, worry or get ahead of with work or, all the things. My to-do list is just running the show up there. But when I do personal development, I feel grounded. Like, okay, here's where you're starting today. Like, do that. So, I mean, I get a little bit of that on my walks because I'm doing, listening to podcasts, which this morning was really good because it was talking about abundance and how to get abundance. And I already know how to do it. So just like a reminder this morning to where your headspace needs to be. But if you're not, and I think back, I wasn't doing anything. I was waking up, surviving, going to work, getting my kids to school, coming home, taking care of the house, doing fucking the yard work, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, exhausted as fuck, kissing my kids goodnight, and then staying up watching stupid TV and just doing nothing for myself, eating a bag of chips and dip, sneaking out to the garage to have a smoke or a beer, and then go to bed.
Mhm.
Do the same shit. I never once thought about working out, meal prepping, gratitude. I wasn't doing any of that. I was on survival mode.
Right.
And I didn't understand that survival mode was probably the most important time in my life where I should have been taking care of myself. And when that switch happened and I started exercising every day and stopped drinking and I stopped smoking and I stopped eating like shit and all those things, my kids and all of us, our relationship came better and my co-parenting journey changed. It was the pivotal moment. When I started giving a fuck about myself, everything else followed.
Yeah. Which
Everything
is
else.
crazy because we hear it all the time. We hear, "Oh, self-care, and you gotta put yourself first, and you gotta," but doing it does take some discipline. You have to really say, "No, like, I'm going to
Worth
do this for myself, and I'm not gonna
Mhm.
feel guilty about it. I'm not gonna feel selfish that I'm doing it." I understand the importance of it and
Yeah.
how all of the results in my life are gonna change if I start connecting with myself more and understanding what my needs are so that I can meet them. It
Mhm.
does change everything. And so speaking of that, because we're gonna next week we go right into the next chapter after this,
Yeah.
guys. But if you're somebody who has a hard time like believing things are gonna work out, or if
Mhm.
your mindset tends to be negative, you're not alone. And you have an opportunity to rewire your brain. You do this by overriding your old thoughts and beliefs and those things that you keep repeating through repeating new thoughts so
Yeah.
many times with emotional intensity that it becomes a more energetically efficient pathway for your brain than the one that you've had until now. You can literally change your brain. And so that's what we're going to teach you how to do next in the next chapter.
Right.
Today's workshop is all about changing your thought patterns and your inner critic. And so we're doing a whole workshop on that. So if you're not in the next chapter, you can still get in there. And the replay is going to be available for 30 days.
Yep.
But this is a big one because when you change your thoughts, you change your life. Period.
Mhm.
End of story. It all
Yep.
comes down to what's going on in your brain. So we're going to dive into that and give you some tools today.
Yes. So, you guys, we look forward to next week when we come on the show. We always have good stuff to talk about, but the next chapter, I'm telling you, is where it is at.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you
much
just got to
fun.
get over there. You just have to head over. So, we'll see you over there. If not, we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.